Because sooner or later, I'm going to Zahadum. I'm going to stop them.
If you go to Zahadum, you will die.
And I die.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We Are All Kosh.
a Babylon 5 review. Changed it in a while. I'd come up with something new. I wish I could take a picture of your coffee cup because for his birthday, Matt got a mustache mug. They were a type of mug. They're not common to find now because men don't typically let their mustaches grow. That allows you to drink out of a cup without getting liquid in your mustache. But the only one his sister could find is the most florid, over the top, I am pottery piece I have ever seen in my entire life.
And
it
I'm
has a gold
immensely
rim.
enjoying it.
I know you are, and I'm happy for you. But it's got flowers, a gold rim. It looks very fancy.
Hand-painted Nippon.
Well, that means old because that's what you used to call anything Japanese.
Yeah.
That's why a common derogatory term for the Japanese in World War II was nips. And now you know that too.
Yep.
All right, we're going to talk about Babylon 5, Season 2, Episode 16, In the Shadow of Zahadum. And this is another one, if you're watching it on Tubi, it's switched. It's switched. This one is after I can't remember what they have as the next one. I don't know what Tubi is doing for its order, but we're going off.
They're getting the episode titles and descriptions correct. Just the episode numbering is off.
Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, which is different from Forever Night because some of those are just totally scrambled.
Yeah.
There is different viewing orders for Babylon 5. We are going off of the aired order.
Right.
But there is a slightly different chronological order, and I'm wondering if Tubi is going off of the chronological order. I don't know. All I know is we're doing In the Shadow of Zahadum next because I, at this point, am going off of whatever the Lurker's Guide said because that's generally the aired order.
Yep.
This had a P5 rating of 9.3.
I dig it.
9.3. This is not a bad episode. This is a very straightforward episode.
Right.
I can see now why in the last forum posts, everyone was saying, okay, the next one is good, but we kind of and now for a word. Because and now for a word is different. It's interesting. It's trying to show you a different perspective of Babylon 5.
Right.
It's unique. It's something you're not expecting to see. And this episode, while great, is a lore dump. It's a lore dump.
Yep.
I kind of feel like this episode would have greater impact if we had mentioned his wife literally at any point from the last time we mentioned his wife when his sister arrived in episode 2.
Yes.
All the way through the last 14 episodes.
If maybe at some point you saw him, even just 10 seconds or something of unpacking boxes.
I mean, effectively, we are operating on the same schedule as Babylon 5 would have because we're going week by week.
Mm-hmm.
Except we're not taking fall and summer breaks like they did.
Right.
Although we are not having new episodes in the month of December. This is the important part that I was forgetting to say. And luckily there's a good segue here. We're taking the month of December off. You should also take the month of December off. I don't know from what, but pick a thing. have a month. We're just going to be traveling a lot. We have kids. We have family. there's just absolutely no way we can keep up. And there's no way we can record ahead because we have kids and family and a lot going on. So we're just going to enjoy a little breaky break, and then we will be back. Pretend it's 1995 and it's like any other thing, and they're taking a weird seasonal break. Do we have a little visitor? Are you coming, Cookie? Well, come in then. You cannot sleep on the soundboard. Don't even try. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is it's been a long fucking time since anyone's talked about his wife, right?
Right.
If you're binge watching this just happened. But if you're like us and we're just watching him one a week, it's been months. It's been 14 weeks.
Yeah, since we've heard of Anna.
If there were no reruns. Just a couple of lines every couple of episodes where he's like, my wife used to say to me.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that was my wife's, or whatever. I didn't forget because I knew she's part of the plot. But if I was watching this through the first time, I'd have been like, oh, right, that's right. His wife died. I totally forgot about that. This originally aired May 10th, 1995. It was written by JMS and directed by a David J. Eagle. This is the first time this guy showed up, but he's going to go on to direct 13 more episodes of Babylon 5. He only has 5 IMDb credits.
This is where I wonder about the gaps in IMDb. Like, did this guy do other things? Maybe it was unorthodox things that didn't get recorded on IMDb.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. IMDb, I feel like he could have been a stage director. He could have been... There's like a tier above which you have to go in order to qualify for an IMDb credit. But like he could have been working on Babylon 5, but he could have been doing something other than directing. Yeah.
And not getting officially credited.
Cook. Thank you. Right, exactly. And then they were like, hey, you want a shot at directing it? This is a pretty straightforward episode. I think it'd be a really good one to see if you could do it. Mm-hmm. His only previous credit was CBS After School Specials, which is literally labeled on IMDb as one thing, CBS School Break Special. So I don't know what the fuck that is. But that's the only thing he did before this. And then somebody was like, hey, do you want to direct this really pivotal episode of Babylon 5? And he was like, I could give that a shot, I guess. Sure. The only real extra who is in this, who hasn't been in any other one, because of course Morden is in this.
Yep.
Wasser. I forget what his first name is. But Alex Hyde White is the guy who plays Pierce Maccabee, the recruiter for the Night Watch.
Yeah.
He is the son of Colonel Hugh Pickering, the guy who played Colonel Hugh Pickering in My Fair Lady. This guy's name was like the most British of all British names. I thought I wrote it down, but it's we would look it up, but Cookie is laying on our phones. So you're just going to have to look that up for yourself. But he literally, if you find his dad's IMDb.
The actor who plays Colonel Hugh Pickering in My Fair Lady?
Yeah, the 1964 one with what's wrong with this? Audrey Hepburn?
Yep.
Yeah. Colonel Hugh, he's like his buddy, his little buddy. And anyway, if you look this guy up, I got distracted by the cats. If you look this guy up and you look up his dad, literally the Wikipedia page is like recognized for being one of the most British of all British actors. This guy, Alex Hyde White, actually played in the new Fantastic Four movie, the one that just came out.
Okay.
As ABC newscaster William Russell. He also played in Battlestar Galactica, like the original 1980s Battlestar Galactica. His dad also played in the original 1980s Battlestar Galactica. And he played in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. His dad was also a regular. It smacks of nepotism. It's starting to get a little like, hey, do you think this is something my son could do? Do you have a part my son could play? It's fine. I'm sure he does a good job. But yeah, definitely his dad was like, oh, actually, I know somebody who could. Oh, my God. Cookie.
Kooky loves to snuggle.
I know. He just curled up in Matt's arm and then tucked his head underneath his own tail, and I got really distracted. All right. He played young Henry in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He also played in Walker, Texas Ranger, because we haven't had one in a while, and I felt like I needed to put that in there.
Thank you.
And then he played Dr. Reed Richards in the 1994 production of Fantastic Four.
Oh, maybe that's why he has a cameo in the new one.
I don't, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen, it just said the Fantastic Four, and then it had the date, 1994. So I don't know if it was a movie. I don't know if it was a TV movie. Usually IMDb will tell you. I don't know. The only thing from that era that I would be familiar with would be any Incredible Hulk that had Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. If it's not that, fuck it, forget it. I probably didn't watch it. I loved that Incredible
I saw
Hulk.
a clip. They were talking about the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Yeah.
And why is he not Bruce Banner?
Oh, okay.
He's like David Banner,
Yeah.
I think.
He is.
They said, these two podcast guys said, it's because the studio, the production team, whatever, thought the name Bruce sounded too gay. And so they said, change his first name.
He was a man who was going to turn into a
bigger man.
A bigger man who's wearing hot pants, half naked hot pants man, who will then beat people up and then turn back into himself and then walk sadly off into the distance wearing the most bell bottoms of all 70s bell bottom jeans. Look, I watched the shit out of that show, but I think we can all agree.
The name Bruce doesn't make him less gay.
That ship has sailed. Let it go. I can't remember. I remember when I realized that the name in my beloved TV show was different. I was like, wait, is he Bruce? I thought he was whatever, because I didn't read the comics. I only watched the TV show.
Yeah.
Anyway, at one point, Sheridan is sitting and like with his back to the monitor, and he points behind him and he's like, that man is supposed to be dead. And apparently there's a blooper reel on one of the DVD releases where Ed Wasser, the guy who plays Morden, starts pretending to die, like choke and fall over while Sheridan is delivering his line.
It's supposed to be. Is the monitor supposed to be a live feed of him in the other room? Or is it supposed to be just like a picture from his...
There's a part where he says to Garibaldi,
passport.
that man is supposed to be dead. But there's another part where he's in the cell.
But that's before he's captured.
Yes.
And I think it's supposed to be just like his passport picture.
Yeah.
His passport with 3D scan or whatever. But it's actually a live feed.
Yeah.
Of him.
The trivia just says points to the monitor of him sitting in his cell. So it must be later when he's actually captured and they've taken him from the holding room to an actual cell. And I think it's when Sheridan is reiterating, but like, I can't let that man go. He's supposed to be dead. I need to know what's happening. And it's a very dramatic moment, but apparently Ed Wasser decided to pretend to start dying. But because Bruce Boxleitner's back is to the monitor, he didn't realize it.
And there was no sound.
So everyone was cracking up and he's still trying to stay in character and deliver his line. Which I get, but also if he fucking crushed it and then he realized that it was unusable because the guy behind him was cutting up, I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad. There's a scene where Andrea Thompson, Talia, slaps Bruce Boxleitner.
Yes.
Apparently she really hauled ass on him and they only did it twice because she
sells it.
Because she fucking slapped him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminded me of in This Is the End. There's a part where Michael Cera, who's playing Michael Cera, but like a caricature of Michael Cera, has to slap Rihanna on the ass. Like, spank her on the ass. And so they were trying to do it so that he didn't actually have to hit her. But because of the way the angle worked, you could tell he wasn't actually hitting her. Mm-hmm. So he asked her, can I actually hit you? Can I actually spank you? And she was like, if I get to actually slap you. And so the part where she like slaps him and he falls backwards and falls over is a real slap. Is a real slap.
Yep.
So like that. This is the first mention of the Ministry of Peace when Pierce Maccabee introduces himself to Talia. And they use the ironic abbreviation Mini-Pax, which comes from the 1984 novel by George Orwell. 1984. It's from 1948, but it's 1984. And it coexisted in the book with the ministries for propaganda. So the Ministry of Truth or the Mini-True, the Ministry of Plenty or the Mini-Plenty, and the Secret Police the Ministry of Love. So that's not dystopian at all. It's totally fine. The whole part where Sheridan talks about the British knowing that Coventry was going to be bombed is like a total lie. That's not a thing that happened.
Oh, that's just completely fabricated?
It's a thing that gets passed around as like a legend, but it's not actually how it went down.
Oh, okay.
They knew from the Enigma that something in the UK, somewhere in the UK was going to be bombed. So they could have warned cities that bombings were coming, but they just didn't warn anyone. But they didn't know who was going to be bombed.
Right.
They just knew someone was going to be bombed. That whole thing has a lot more tragedy than just that. Because, of course, who invented the machine that cracked the Enigma?
Alan Turing.
Alan Turing. Who has, like, the most...
Tragic.
Okay, it's a soapbox because then we cast him as Benedict Cumberbatch, and I have problems with that, and it's just it's fine. But, the inventor of the modern computers, look him up. It's a sad story. The only line that I copied that JMS said was Kosh's line about Sheridan going to Zahadum, a warning or a threat, and he just responded with yes. Both. He just said yes. So
JMS is Kosh.
The rest of the discussion about this episode was literally just asking clarifying questions that to me felt very self-evident, so I wasn't sure why we even bothered to ask them on the forum. And it was different from previous lore dump episodes. Because Geometry of Shadows, Coming of Shadows, some of the other really big episodes, there was a lot of discussion down below. And this one was just a lot of questions or asking questions and him being like, I can't answer that. I can't answer that yet. Or being very circumspect in a way that felt a little like JMS was drunk on his own Kool-Aid a little bit. I was like, I don't know if it's fine. That's probably not the way he intended it to come off, but it felt a little bit like, hee hee, ha ha, I'm fooling everybody. I'm such a good writer, which is fine. You know what? He wrote a hit TV show that was a hit in the time that it was on. And
people are still talking about it today.
People are still talking about it. So you know what? Take it. Take the W, JMS. It's fine. You want to revel in it a little bit? That's totally okay. I think people should be able to celebrate their accomplishments. And so he kind of was. And that's what all of the text below in the lurker section read like. And so I didn't copy it because it was stuff like, how come so many people were on the Icarus? Were they all researchers? And he was like, no, it was like mining prospecting companies will go out to these far out worlds, kind of like Sheridan's side piece was doing, where she would go out.
Sinclair's.
Oh yeah, that guy, Sinclair, the other one.
I
finally fall into one of the kids' sicknesses.
Charging it. The other person has been in charge of Babylon 5
Sakai.
That also had a significant other that did planetary expeditions.
Yes, Catherine Sakai.
Yeah.
Catherine Sakai.
Yep.
Like her, except they bring along researchers as like a piggyback situation. Like we're already going, let's combine.
Expeditions like archaeological digs, you have 30 or 40 people there. Most of them are not the people doing the actual digging. They're just logistics and support. Right,
but it's like if we're already going out there, can we come with you? Let's bring 10 researchers or whatever. And we did this when we went whale watching. We paid for our tickets. We got to go whale watching, but mostly the boat was for recording and tracking the whales. So it was us and a bunch of scientists. And
there were marine biologists on the ship doing live research. This is how they do their research.
And they fund the trips out by selling tickets for people who want to come and look at the whales. And it was pretty cool. So, I mean,
It's a win-win.
This is a win-win situation.
And then you get an actual marine biologist on the top of the boat on the loudspeaker kind of narrating like, oh, here's facts about whales from an actual marine biologist
and this is
who's been
this
studying
whale.
this for like 30 years.
This is this whale. This whale's been coming back to this bay for 20-some years, and they have this many kids that come back year after year. And it was really cool.
That was fun.
That was really, our son was like, "Ugh." He just started spouting whale facts spontaneously. He's like, they're this big and they can dive this deep. He was just so excited. So we start with kind of a sad note. I mean, this episode is distinct from the previous couple of episodes in that there is not a lot of variety in terms of plot. It is like one thing, and we're doing the one thing the whole time. But we do start with a slightly different note, and this is about the Narn refugees.
Yep.
And remember, we couldn't get anybody to help the Narn, but they've been sneaking refugees off and getting them back to Narn.
Yep.
And so that's what is happening here. And the war must be ramping up because they are overwhelming Babylon 5.
The Narn refugees.
Yeah. So Garibaldi and Zach are talking, and Zach is like, yeah, there's like 200 refugees just from Sector 29, and we've got 5 more ships due. And we're turning the healthy ones around and sending them to the Narn homeworld, but we can't turn away the injured, and they're filling up every fucking bed in MedLab. We are overwhelmed. We are overwhelmed.
Yep.
What was I just... Oh, I've been re-listening to Devolution, which is another Max Brooks book, which means well-researched and slightly disturbing in the revelations that come from the research he does.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about, in the book, they talk about how it is harder to care for the wounded than it is to simply kill people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of weaponry is designed to maim
And
or
not
harm and not kill.
Yep.
Because you are placing the burden of caring for the sick and wounded onto the country, and that will hoping that will eventually tie up so many resources that contributes to them being unable to defend themselves.
Yep.
And that's kind of what this felt like. And Zach is like, I mean, if we could ship out some of the injured, and Garibaldi's like, I mean, we can't. The captain ordered us not to unless they're fit for travel. And Zach is trying to be like, I get it. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be like, can we just make them go away because they're kind of a problem? But also...
And I appreciate Zach's perspective, like having Zach as a character where Zach is not like a command officer. He's one of the actual boots on the ground people.
Right.
So he's not just spending most of his time in his office getting reports, making decisions, and giving out orders. He's actually having to go do it.
You know,
and so he's getting a more realistic perspective about what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And so for him to push back, like that's literally part of his job. Is to say, I'm the security lead under Garibaldi. Part of my job, a big part of my job, is to tell Garibaldi how it actually is.
Right. I think this is what they wanted Warren Keffer to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when they asked for a young Top Gun style pilot that we could include as part of the main cast, I think maybe they envisioned it as that way we get a first person perspective on a lot of the action that happens instead of seeing everything from the command staff, because Babylon 5 tends to be very command staff heavy, where we're seeing everything from the point of view of the people pulling the strings and not from the strings actually getting pulled.
Yeah.
Which sometimes leads to a detachment from the actual stakes of the story. And this to me feels like when I tell my mom that she needs to do something, she's never going to do it. She will harm herself before she does the thing. This is just facts. There's no way around it. She wanted apple trees. I bought an apple tree. I did not consult her about where to plant it. and she refuses to take care of the apple tree. And she doesn't even realize that that's a thing that she's doing. So it feels like JMS, they told him we need like another perspective. We need a non-command staff perspective. And he was like, no. And then halfway through the season, or most of the way through the season, he was like, I think it might work out if we actually had someone that wasn't a command staff that we had the opportunity to talk to, because like it doesn't make sense that Garibaldi would be personally involved with literally everything. But this gives us a chance to sort of see the security stuff that is happening without actually having to involve Garibaldi or Ivanova or Sheridan. So also my mom will eventually come to the thing that you told her to do, but on her own, but from a completely different direction. And you just have to go, great, I'm glad that's working out for you.
That was such a great idea that you had.
Yeah.
And I will support this idea that you had.
Yeah. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Except it's a different character. It's not a young guy. So he came to it. He just came to it on his own terms. I like Zach. I think Zach is a cool character.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little shitty of Sheridan later when Garibaldi resigns because he's doing real questionable stuff. Sheridan's doing real questionable stuff. And Garibaldi's like, as head of security right now, this is my responsibility. You can't actually take it away from me. I'm going to quit if you don't quit. And he's like, okay, fine, then quit. And then he brings Zach in and he's like, so anyway, you're head of security now. And then does not explain anything about what's happening.
Right. And yeah, I think this is why this situation is why you limit. You have to have some kind of credentials to be put into a command position.
Yeah.
Because like Zach, he's good at the like actually executing the job.
Yeah.
And I've been going through this kind of thing where I'm transitioning into more of a technical leadership role. I'm trying to get promoted. And so I'm doing a lot less of, oh, you tell me what needs to be done and I'll figure out how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Most of my career I've been okay, I'll figure out how to do it guy. And then the last 3-4 years, it's more like I'm saying these are the problems we're facing. Here's what we should do.
Yeah.
And that's hard. And it's a big mindset shift.
Yeah.
And you need to learn a lot more about how the whole system operates. And so for Zach, who's very much in the mindset of, I will figure out how to do what Garibaldi tells me to do.
Yeah.
He's not in the mindset of, I'm figuring out what to do, but also with like broad knowledge of, here's how to do things the right way.
Yeah.
And it's my responsibility to hold the other command staff accountable. Zach he probably doesn't have the training or expertise of knowing what does accountability look like. What is the commander of Babylon 5 actually allowed to do?
Right.
And what are the boundaries that I have to enforce? What are the rules that I have to enforce? Like holding somebody for X number of hours. Zach probably doesn't know the ins and outs legally.
Which is why it's real shitty when Sheridan's like, anyway, you're head of security now.
And you don't know enough to challenge me.
Yeah, you don't know enough to stop me.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're going to get there. But he's trying to very delicately be like, can we maybe not take every single Narn refugee in? Like, I don't think we can. He goes, Chief, I understand how he feels. You see them come through here. You feel for them, but we're swamped. Can you at least talk to him? And Garibaldi's like, yeah, I think I can say something to him. And then we cut to Veer and Morden. And I want you all
This is such a good scene.
to take notes. Pull out a piece of paper, write this down, write down what Veer says. You're going to want to remember it for later. Because Morden's like, oh, I was expecting Malari. And he's like, oh, sorry, he got recalled to Centauri Prime for consultations about the war effort. And Morden's like, oh my God, how is that going? And Veer goes, why are you asking a question that you already know the answer to? Morden's like, oh, I'm just I'm just making conversation.
And I really like this reinforcement of Veer's character where, yes, he has a lot of anxiety,
Yeah.
but he has anxiety about him being good enough at his job.
Yeah.
But he's very confident about what his job is.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not really a people pleaser.
No, not at all. The only shit he takes is Londo shit. And that's
Right.
because he's paid to
Because-
take Londo shit.
That's his job.
Right. And if you're not paying him to take your shit, he does not take your shit.
Right.
He doesn't seek out conflict. But if somebody says something he doesn't agree with, or if asks him to do something he doesn't want to do, and it's not
It's
part
like,
of the scope of his
Blink,
job,
blink. Why are you even talking to me?
yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Sorry. Not sorry. Fuck off.
I try to channel this kind of Veer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
If it's it's covered under his job description, he'll do it.
Yep.
He will do it. He may not like it, but he will do it. If it's not covered under his job, I mean, he's here to talk to Morden, but nobody said he had to be nice to Morden.
Right.
And Morden's like, sit down. And Veer just looks at him like, no, dog. And he goes, sit. And so he does do that. He's like, you don't like me, do you, Veer? I find this surprising. I mean, my associates and I are doing everything we can to help your people reclaim their place in the galaxy. I should think you'd be grateful. Veer goes, I mean, why am I here? Is there a reason you sent for me? Like, I'm not grateful. I don't know what you're talking about. Why am I here? This is an example of a moment where you don't have to be grateful.
Yeah.
Veer didn't ask for this. Veer doesn't like this. Veer would really rather this never had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's not going to say thank you just because you presented it as if it was a gift. And Morden goes, actually, I sent for Ambassador Malari, not you. But you're here and he's not, so I guess it'll just have to wait. And then he goes, if restoring this entire republic doesn't mean anything to you, what does?
And then the classic Morden. What do you want?
He goes, what do you want? With the emphasis on the you. What is it you want, Veer? How can I get you? What can I get for
All right,
you?
and here's what you need to put a pin in.
Yeah, you need to put a pin in this shit. Write it down. I'll just put the whole quote in here because it gets delivered in the show way better than I can deliver it.
He was recalled to Centauri Prime for consultations about the war effort.
And how is your war going?
Why do you ask me questions when you already know the answers?
Just making conversation. Here, sit. Sit. You don't like me, do you, Veer? I find this surprising. After all, my associates and I are doing everything we can to help your people reclaim their place in the galaxy. I should think you'd be grateful.
Is there a reason you sent for me?
I sent for Ambassador Malari. But you're here, he's not, and it can wait. If restoring the Centauri Republic means nothing to you, what does? What do you want?
I'd like to live just long enough to be there when they cut off your head and stick it on a pike as a warning to the next 10 generations that some favors come with too high a price. I want to look up into your lifeless eyes and wave like this. Can you and your associates arrange that for me, Mr. Morden?
Yeah. So, can you and your associates arrange that for me?
And the wave, his little finger, and then he leans in and the camera pans slightly back to follow his movement. And then he does his wave. It's so good. And then it's Morden's turn to not respond directly to whatever Veer just said.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, whatever. Here's the data crystal. Give it to Ambassador Malari. You can go now. And he just gets up and then he goes, Mr. Morden. And Morden turns around and he goes, and does his little wave like, promises. It's going to write that shit down.
Yeah.
Write that down. And then we go to Garibaldi and Sheridan. That's the end of that whole thing. That's the end of any involvement in the Centauri-Narn War. That's the end of that for this episode. Because now we're going to move on to Sheridan's own personal war with himself.
With closure.
With the my wife trope.
My wife!
My wife! I just saw a reel this morning that was like, why is my wife your favorite trope? And it was some movie where the guy pulls out a knife. Oh, it was Matthew McConaughey. And he was like, you touched my wife. And that means that you owe me like a pound of flesh. And he pulls out a knife and they're like, oh, it's my favorite trope. I am of two minds about this trope usually. Really, Smokey?
You're going to scratch
You're
the
going to
phone?
scratch the corner right now. I left the door open because the cats keep wanting to come in and out the door because Cookie has reinvigorated in Smokey a sense of youth and adventure. And so they feel the need to follow us around the house now. And yet I think the shenanigans maybe are not worth it. Anyway,
Smokey's very happy, though.
I'm usually of two minds about this trope because I read a lot of romance books for Feast, Sheath, and Shatter, and because they're mindless, and sometimes that's what you need. And there is a lot of, I would burn the universe for my wife. In fact, I'm in the middle of Dune Messiah right now.
Fair.
And Dune Messiah
Fair.
is my wife. Like, it's
Yep.
the my wife trope. And there's never a reverse of this trope. What book is about a woman burning down the universe to get her husband back?
I have something's ringing a bell faintly.
I mean, anytime it's presented that a woman's
Ooh.
husband dies, they're like, well, anyway, so sad.
Well, it's not about her being dead. It's about maybe she's alive.
Right,
And I've just been sitting here.
right. And she's been alone and scared. And I thought she was gone. So I didn't go to try and find her.
There's an arc in the Wheel of Time where Nynaeve and Lan are together.
Okay.
And I think Lan gets
If
captured.
any woman was going to burn the universe down for her husband, it'd be Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I didn't watch that TV show, but I need to finish the books. I knew they were going to cancel it. That's why I didn't. The modern conceit of not fucking finishing television shows because they're like, well, anyway.
Not even performatively
Not even like pretending.
wrapping it up
No.
to be continued later, maybe.
Giving it a movie or anything. No. I just rolled my eyes, but nobody could see it. I mean, that's the best part about Sense8 is they canceled it and then they got a crowd-funded movie made that wraps it up, and it's perfect. It's exactly the way you want it to end. I could ask nothing more of Sense8. Anyway.
The my wife trope.
Yes, I was continuing.
Sheridan.
You keep derailing me. And I get it, but also it starts to feel like a tropey.
Like a shallow character.
Like not a shallow character,
Cliche.
but just like a cliche where it's like, well, how do I motivate a man? Well, I kill his wife.
Yeah.
How do you motivate?
Or his dog.
Yeah. The only thing I'm sad about is we didn't get a scene of Sheridan and his wife under a white sheet giggling and laughing at each other.
Running along the beach.
Running along the beach. Any of the dead wife shit that everybody else does. I mean, how'd they motivate the character in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie? Like, kill his wife. How do you get...
No, potentially revive his wife.
Okay, see, you're seeing it from the reverse. I only see it as, how do we get a man out of the house to do literally anything? You got to kill his wife. Got to kill his wife.
You have to put his wife in danger.
Okay, yeah, you have to, well, who's going to cook my dinner? Honey? It's like the scene in Pleasantville where he comes home and he's like, well, where's my dinner? And then he ends up trying to eat cocktail olives out of a jar because he doesn't know how to do anything else. Anyway, this is Garibaldi and Sheridan, and it's the last moment of Centauri-Narn war involvement in the entire episode. So it's literally just Garibaldi being like, hey, can we maybe send some of the less injured people back to Narn because this is getting to be a lot? And Sheridan being like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Because he said, I need discretionary power on the injured. And Sheridan's like, yeah, I thought we could handle it, but there's just so many coming through. I mean, it's hard, Michael. They're a proud people, and to see them humbled like this, it's really sad. This whole scene is very sad. And he's like, all right, just tell Franklin to have his people separate out the injured. Light cases get first aid only, and then load them on the first ship out. Critical cases get taken to med lab on a priority basis. And Garibaldi goes, and the dying?
Med lab.
He's like, Earth Central says it will be a waste of resources, is what Garibaldi says. And Sheridan's like, I am not going to have people dying cold and alone on the docking bay floor. Garibaldi just goes, understood. Got it. And then he looks over and he's like, oh my God, the Icarus? Is that what's on your screen right now? Because
let's shift the tone of this conversation.
I know. We just had the I'm not having people die cold and alone on the docking bay floor. And then he's like, oh my God, what's on the TV? Because Sheridan's going through his wife's belongings. He's had like a box of wife stuff that's probably labeled my wife. And he's like, oh, look, a DVD. And he stuck it in to play in the background while he was going through the stuff.
Yeah.
And so Garibaldi's like, oh my God, the Icarus? And Sheridan's like, yeah, that's the science vessel that my wife was on, when she passed away. And I've just been putting off sorting through the last of her stuff, but my sister's coming and she's a raging bitch about this thing. So I just kind of want to move on through it. Although she's probably going to bring me 3 more boxes of love letters that she sent to my sister instead of sending to me. Remember, his sister was sitting on that recording of his wife
for years.
For 2 years. He goes, but what to keep, what to throw away. Before she left, she sent me the whole breakdown of the mission, crew, personnel, when they're supposed to come back. I guess it wasn't classified, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess it's like me sending you my location when I go for a Facebook Marketplace pickup.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And he might, he's a
military guy,
career space guy.
Yeah.
He might be able to say, oh, hey, it looks like you're doing this.
He does space.
He does space. That's his job is space.
His job is space.
But maybe she sent it to him on the off chance that.
Yeah, just take a look at this shit.
And he might have some suggestions about you're going past here, watch out for this, or
the same reason I send my itinerary to my family before I go anywhere. So that when I get the inevitable 14 texts every morning, hey, what are you guys up to today? What are you planning for today? I can be like, I sent you the itinerary. Please just look at it. And Sheridan's like, there's nothing personal in it. She didn't know anybody else aboard. She just sort of thought this would be a good research opportunity, whatever. That's the only reason I have any of this shit. And Garibaldi's watching the DVD of the crew go by. And then he's like, whoa, wait a minute. I know that fucking guy. Morden's face is so punchable. I would also recognize him from a mile away. Be like, wow, I just had the spontaneous urge to punch that man in the face. I think I've seen him before.
Yeah.
He goes, I've seen him around. And Sheridan's like, that's not possible. He was on the Icarus when it exploded, the same as my wife was, just like Anna was. At least he calls her by her name. He's not just like, my wife. My wife. That was my biggest complaint. Not my biggest complaint. I loved the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. Since we've already brought it up, I can bring it up again. But what was the wife's name?
It's mentioned once or twice.
And the rest of it, he's just like, your mom or my wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Garibaldi's like, no, Captain, fucking seriously. I know that guy. I know him. I've seen him around. And they look over and it's Morden. Because for a hot minute, we don't look at the screen.
Right.
We just focus on Garibaldi and Sheridan. And they're like, look at that guy on the screen. I know him. He's alive. I've seen him, but we don't see who it is. And then we pan over and bum, bum, bum. It's Morden. And this is one of those episodes that it's so straightforward. I remember everything that's happening in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not re-experiencing this episode like I am for some of the other episodes that we're watching. And I kind of wish I could re-experience this episode.
Yeah.
Because it feels like one of those ones where it's a lore dump, it's fine, but when you're rereading the book, you skip that chapter because it's just them telling the lore and you don't really need to reread it because you remember it from last time.
And more than they're revealing here.
Right. You're like, oh, this is where it all started. Oh, okay, but I don't really need to reread this chapter. That's what this felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is the one where we're finally going to push play on the shadow plot.
Yep.
I'm really glad, but also this is the very, very, just the tiniest beginning, drop in a bucket of all of the stuff we're going to learn.
Right. It's this is where we finally start using capital S shadows.
Yeah. This is literally
as a reference to an organization, a society, whatever.
This is literally the first time that Sheridan knows that there's something that he doesn't know, and that's it. That's what we learn. He learns that there are things to be learned. That's what this whole episode is.
Yeah.
So it was fine. I enjoyed it. I wish I could go through it again and be like, oh my God, is that Morden? Oh, geez. I didn't know that that's where he came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it. And gonna hit me really hard on the head before we watch it again. And then I can watch it again for the first time. I just need to be slightly more neurodivergent so I can dump this information and then experience things again for the first time. Well,
You need to be more like episodic memory neurodivergent, where the episodic memory doesn't get triggered. It's a 0 recall.
Yeah. Less it's in the vault, and once I pull up that information, it's all there.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we go to the intro and we come back. Ta-da! That's it. And then we come back.
Still on Sherry and Gary.
As distinct from most of the other times, the intro is used as transition from like the cold open
to a different
thing.
to,
This
like,
is
the B
just
story.
like we interrupted the conversation and now we got to put it back in.
Yep.
Like in our early episodes, sometimes we would forget to introduce ourselves. So I would just pick a spot in the conversation to put the intro music. That's what this felt like.
Yeah.
Because we come back to Garibaldi and Sheridan still talking. And Garibaldi's like, how long do you think they've been discussing this? Because he's like, no, I mean, seriously, I know that guy. I never forget a face. And he has the same ID as on the Icarus. Like, he's not even pretending to be a different person. It's the same fucking guy.
Yep.
Have they been at this for an hour? Sheridan's like, no, it can't be him. And Garibaldi's like, look.
Yes, it is.
Look.
Nuh-uh, it can't be.
And he was finally like, wait. And then he went and got a computer readout. And he was like, see, right here. This is where he scanned in. See?
2 days ago.
See? And Sheridan's like, okay, but he's supposed to be dead. Why didn't the security net catch him?
That's probably why Garibaldi knows just off the top of his head. Customs log shows he arrived here 2 days ago.
Yeah, because
So
he had to go look it up.
During the intro, he probably looked it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, look.
No,
See?
seriously. God damn it, Sheridan. I'm trying to tell you the truth here. No, he's going to be dead. Okay, hi, Cookie. He's like, why didn't the security net catch him? And he's like, I mean, come on. You think we're networked? Do you think every single colony just sort of
Nowadays,
puts all of their death certificates on a central database? Come on.
Nowadays, like 90s technology, yes, it would have been extremely complicated and like computationally, like communication wise expensive to keep a whole bunch of databases synchronized. Nowadays, everybody's doing it.
Well, he said we don't get every death certificate from every ship and colony, which means that every individual ship may have its own death records that it then does not necessarily network in with the main networks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like pre-internet much.
I would expect, like, if this was made in 2025, I would expect when you come through customs, it pulls up your record.
Yeah.
Just live.
Because we're accustomed to having like a central repository for information.
Right. And being able to have this whole like distributed, not decentralized. There's still like a centralized like source of
There's
truth.
a security net.
But it's distributed in that there's a whole like network of databases that are all constantly synchronizing with each other.
Yeah. Well, he said, if he'd broken any rules or gotten into any fights, they would have done a full check and then it would have brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't come up unless you're doing like a actual deep dive research into somebody.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done anything to attract attention, so I don't know, I fucking looked him up.
He's a careful guy.
I know he's not doing any. I can't, unless you're pulling shenanigans, I can't just look people up.
Right. I don't do a full background check on everybody that comes through customs.
Right. Unless it's one of Sinclair's girlfriends, and then that's different.
Well, then it's on demand.
Right. It is on demand. And Sheridan's like, okay, well, when was he last here? And he's like, well, he's here right now. It says he got here 2 days ago, and he's still here. And Sheridan's like, find him.
Bring him here.
Find him. I don't care if you have to seal off the whole station. I want him found. This should have been the first like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Right. I want to know what he's doing here and why he's alive when my wife and everyone else who was on board the Icarus with him is dead.
Yeah, somebody flicked the my wife switch in
Yep.
Sheridan's head, and he had to be like, do you have one? Would you do this? If you thought I had died and then you found out that maybe I didn't die and you had the kind of power Sheridan had,
I'd pull some strings looking for you.
Would you?
And I'd probably just like pause everything else I was doing.
Is it a biological compulsion, do you think? Is it like my mate, the woman who has birthed my children? I must find her.
It's more about
I haven't eaten a hot
life
meal in
partner.
years. Mm.
You complete me, honey.
My missing puzzle piece. I need to find it. I'm just wondering.
You make me want to be a better man.
Well, I can see this. I mean, I see this in fiction a lot, and I'm just wondering, does this happen in real life? Like, is this just a fictional construct, a thing that we want?
I think part of it is especially for Sheridan, his world is built on things that he knows to varying degrees of certainty.
Yeah.
And there's things that you know just because they're facts and you've observed them. But then there's the things you ground yourself with.
Yeah.
Like in your worldview. And if you're in a loving, like reciprocal relationship,
Podcasting relationship.
then your partner is a really big part of just how you view and interact with the world.
Yeah.
And so for him to have lost that would have been destructive.
Yeah.
Existentially.
Yeah.
And so he's built himself back up, but now you just pulled the bottom out.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so
I can see
literally this scaffolding that he's built up after losing a really, really important part of his world is now crumbling.
that. Right.
His world is crumbling out from beneath him because a thing that he thought was true is now retroactively false.
Right.
So it's not just, oh, a guy from my wife's ship is alive. It's, is my wife really dead?
Then what else is not
Has
true?
she been dead this whole time and I
Yeah.
was wrong this whole time? So it's understandable that he has this really strong reaction. It's not just, I need to find out if my wife is still alive. It's, I need to find out what else was I wrong about.
Right. I think the biggest problem with this trope is that then we have it in the zeitgeist as this is the way that men should react.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have a situation where a man loses his wife and he doesn't lose his fucking mind about it, we're like, what was wrong with you? Did you not have a real relationship? That happens a lot in true crime. And then they're like, well, he must have done it because he didn't completely fall apart when she died. And a lot of times he did do it. So that's fair.
Yeah.
But not always. But I get it. I get what you're saying. That, you know, he lives a very ordered life. And while he does like secrets, he likes to know what's a secret and what's not a secret.
Right.
And a thing that he had accepted as truth was something that he, as a person who collects secrets,
Right. And
Should
he's
have-
made a lot of significant life decisions since then with the understanding
that his wife is
that
gone.
his wife was gone.
Yeah.
And so now he might be rethinking a lot of big decisions that he's made.
Right. I get it. Okay. Thank you for
Like
the breakdown.
getting rid of her favorite coffee cup. Oh my God, what if she's still alive? She's going to want that coffee cup.
You would get rid of my favorite coffee cup?
No, but Sheridan would.
Oh, okay. Do I have a favorite coffee cup?
No.
Oh.
Maybe the striving for excellence.
Someday we should do a podcast on Life Jacket Gate.
You were already working on it.
I was, yeah. But then I was like, fuck all that noise. You'll have to listen to our entire back catalog to get the information about Life Jacket
bits and
Gate.
pieces.
It's bits and pieces. That's what it is right now. Anyway, thank you for that husband perspective.
You're
This
welcome.
is why I do a 2-person podcast. I know I do a lot of talking, and then a lot of times you're just the yep, right guy.
Mhm.
And that's, I mean, it's fine. It's the balance that we've struck over the years. But I do enjoy having you here for being able to interject your perspective, because I know sometimes I am guilty of very rigid thinking.
Mhm.
And it's helpful to have someone who's a little bit more flexible to go, well, maybe that's not the case here. And I have to actually think about it and go, okay, yeah, thank you. My accepted truth was maybe not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Now we go to Talia.
I know. This is
And
like,
she's meeting clients in her apartment.
this is so weird. Like, I get it. I get that she doesn't have like a formal place to meet people, but I feel like she should because her bed is like right fucking there.
Right.
And something about meeting people and them seeing your bed weirds me out. Like, even when people come to visit us, I usually shut our door because I don't like people seeing my bed. There's nothing weird about the bed. That's not like we have one of those bondage racks or anything. It's just that, like, that's my bed. That's my, I lie unconscious there for hours at a time. I don't need you to, don't look at it. Don't look at it. So when he walks in and like her bed is in the background and she's getting dressed, she's like finishing putting all of her stuff on. And she's like, oh, hey, she just invites this guy in, first of all.
Well, he's also from the government. So it's not just a business client. This is someone
but she doesn't know who this guy is when she's like, come in. Because the doorbell rings and she goes,
fair point. Fair point.
And he walks in and he's like, Miss Winters, I'm Pierce Maccabee. I sent you a note earlier. And she's like, oh, yeah, right. So she didn't know who this guy was. She just invites him into her house. And she has the tiniest little apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks. I thought that the Psychor said they would pay your bills for life, but I guess only if it's a reasonable bill.
It's like the insurance company.
I know. They're like, sorry, but this isn't covered under your housing allotment. You need a smaller. I meet people in my apartment. Okay, make your bed. I don't know what to tell you. Fuck off. He goes, oh yes, I got here a little while ago. Sorry, we had a conference come through, is what she says, and like I lost track of time. And then they go and sit at her little dinette because she has like a table and a bed, and that is her entire house. That's her entire room. And he's like, I'm here. She actually tells him, what are you here for? Like, what can I do for you? You sent me a note, but it was like, hi, I'm Pierce Maccabee. And she was like, okay, hey, hi. And he goes, it's really more of a question of what can I do for you? And what can we do for Earth? And he's like, I'm the regional director of the newly formed Ministry of Peace. And I do like that the menace of this is incredibly subtle to start with. Because one, if you don't know the 1984 joke, you're not getting that this is dystopian. You're just like, oh, okay. Because he's like, we're just trying to set up some new programs to like help people back home understand about all of the fighting that's happening out in the universe. And try to really help foster peace at home so that we're better equipped to, to withstand the things that are happening around us.
And on the surface, this is really altruistic.
Yeah.
This is like, we recognize that people are struggling with all the chaos in the universe. And we're just trying to do what we can to like help people
be at peace.
Like exist in a world like that.
Yeah. He goes, we can't have peace with our neighbors until we're at peace with ourselves. And we're just trying to find new ways to do that so we can better help each other and work with each other. And on the surface, that's a really great idea until we get to the conference, which we will get to. He's like, for the next 2 days, I'm going to be giving presentations. And it's just for a couple of station personnel, a couple of handpicked people. And I kind of thought it would be really great if you would come. And I already spoke to your superiors back home. And they thought that you would really enjoy hearing what I have to offer. So I would love it if you could say yes. And she's like, all right, yeah, I'll try to come.
I'll see what I can do.
Right. Then we go to MedLab. And this is also another, you might want to put a pin in this because it's literally listing off all of the patients. NARN patient number 15, currently undergoing surgery. NARN patient number 16, condition critical but stable. And Ivanova
MedLab
walks
is
in.
full of beds. And my first thought was, did Franklin have to get his cot out of his room?
Did he? Or is somebody in his room? There could be people in his room who even knows. Ivanova walks in and he's asleep. And she wakes him up and he's like, I'm awake. What is it? And she's like, hey, I downloaded your medical log and you haven't slept in 36 hours.
You've been logged in continuously for
Yeah.
36 hours.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm kind of busy. I took some stims to get me through.
Circle
that. There's no substitute for food or sleep, which is what Ivanova says. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, I got work to do, so I don't know. She's like, oh, isn't it wonderful? You have other doctors that work here that can also do
You have
your
a
work.
whole competent team.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do it. He goes, thanks for the vote of confidence. She goes, yeah, I'm not playing that game. I already relieved you of duty. You're going to your quarters to sleep for 6 hours minimum, and then you're going to report to the mess hall and eat, and I'll join you there.
Yep.
Look me in the eyes.
And I feel like what Ivanova does for Dr. Franklin should have also happened with Garibaldi.
Yeah, that's why Ivanova's not involved in that plot. Because
Yeah.
if at any point someone had told Ivanova what he was doing, she would have walked in and been like, nope, I already really... Actually, she's involved at the very end.
Right.
When he's already in it and he's
Yeah.
getting ready to no longer be in it. And he does provide a good moment for her where he's like, understand my perspective of what's happening. Can you see why I'm doing this? And she's like, okay, I get it. But don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
But
Like, I understand the personal motivation, but you're still violating rules.
right. But I do like that she literally walks in and is like, well, actually, I already came prepared. You're off duty. I made sure you're off duty. You need to go sleep and then eat, and I'm going to watch you eat. You're welcome. See you in at least 6 hours.
Yep.
And he's like, no. And she goes, I mean it. You're no use to me or anyone else in this condition, so you just need to get going.
All
He
right,
goes,
all
all
right.
right. And I got to try to turn the page without disturbing Cookie. I did it.
And so now we have a
Catch Morden
it's
moment.
a traffic stop.
Yeah, basically. He's like, Zach is reading people's identicards before putting them on the transport.
Is this isn't at customs. This is just in the station,
This is for people getting on to a...
like an elevator, basically.
No, I think it's literally for people trying to leave.
Okay, so this
I
is
think it's-
at the dock.
Yeah, I think it's at the dock.
Okay.
Yeah, because looks like the dock. And these people are walking up to leave because Morden is like, is there a problem? Like, why is what's happening here? And he's like, oh, no problem. Can you just step over there for a minute, actually? Let me get these other through. This is totally routine. And he's like, you said that there wasn't a problem. And he's like, there won't be if you just step over here. And then all these cars pop out of everywhere.
Well, it's when Morden says, I don't think I'll be doing that.
Yeah, I don't think this will be necessary. And then the guards pop out of fucking everywhere. Everyone in line rips off their clothes. They have guard uniforms underneath. Surprise, motherfucker. Supplies, motherfucker.
How many checkpoints were there? And were there like staged security personnel
No.
at every checkpoint, or is there literally just the one checkpoint?
Is it like that social experiment where a bunch of people lined up for no reason and then people lined up around the block just assuming the line was for something?
Yeah.
And then they were like, haha, got him. The most clever trap we could have played. Morden's like, well, I must seem human, so I will also get in the line.
We immediately cut to
Oh God, the interrogation
Sheridan
room. Sheridan
and
with his
Morden.
feet up on the table, and Morden just goes, "Yeah, nice shoes. Why am I here?" He goes, "I'll admit my knowledge of the law is limited, but it's usually tradition that if you're going to hold somebody, you have to charge them with something." And Sheridan doesn't say anything. He
He
doesn't
just
say anything for like the
plays.
first 20 minutes. He gets out a picture of his wife and slides it across the table, and he's like, "Oh, that's yeah, she looks nice." And he flips it over and it says Anna Sheridan on the back. And he's like, is this for me? Is this supposed to me? What the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing here? And he just goes boop, boop, and it's playing on the DVD. And it's a broadcast about how
about the Icarus.
the Icarus departed 5 weeks ago on a planned 6-month scientific and archaeological mission to the rim. And the last message received from the Icarus gave no sign of the problem that led to bop.
Pause.
Yeah. And then Morden gives this really prepared speech. He's
that.
like, he goes, yes, I was on board the Icarus. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember how I survived. A passing transport found the wreck and I was outside, unconscious, floating in an EVA suit. And I must have been working outside when it exploded. The shock and trauma wiped out my memory and that's what happened. And Sheridan's like, okay. Why didn't you tell Earth Central that you were alive? He was like, oh my God, it was like months before I could even remember my own name, much less file a report. And then when I was back on my feet, I sent a message to Earth Central, but I mean, God, they must have never gotten it. He's so fucking punchable. His little face where he's like, oh, sorry. And he goes, yeah, I don't know. And then Sheridan just goes, yeah, you're a fucking liar. You lie like a liar. And he's like, well, I'm really sorry you feel that way. But there's really nothing I can do about that. So if you would just like to kind of let me go. And Sheridan's like, yeah, you're not leaving.
That's not going to happen.
You're not leaving. And he goes, oh, you can't do this. Was the table push accidental? Because there's this tiny little table in between them. And he's like, shoop, and he pushes it at Sheridan. And Sheridan pushes it back. And he's like, you're not
Morden?
going anywhere.
Sheridan pushes it at Morden to stop him from standing up.
Yeah. And he goes, you're not leaving. He goes, you can't do this. And he just goes,
watch me.
Watch me. Watch me do this. Says, you're going to have to charge me with something. And last I heard, being alive is not a crime. And Sheridan's like, oh, yeah, you really seem to have forgotten that no one knows you exist. No one's going to miss you. No one's looking for you. I can do whatever I want to you.
Well, at least Earth Central
Yeah.
is not going to do anything.
Right. He doesn't know that Morden is the agent of an ancient and malevolent race.
So this got me thinking. Sheridan is saying, legally, according to like Earth Alliance, you're dead. And so like legally you don't exist.
Yeah.
And so he says that means you have no rights, no legal recourse.
Yeah.
Except, well, I guess, I thought maybe this is like a continuation of like Navy rules where the person in charge of like the ship, like the captain of a ship,
Yeah.
while they're out on the ocean, they are the supreme legal authority.
Right.
And they're still responsible for their actions when they get back.
Right.
But is this like I'm the captain here, I'm the ultimate legal authority, like short term, you are legally dead, and so because of some loophole in like how I forget the word for it. There's a maritime law.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this is like an extension of maritime law.
Well, I think it's more like this. This is an extension of Sheridan's well-established ability to call someone's bluff.
Yeah.
And there is a reason Morden has not told anyone he's alive.
Right.
And so in order to get out of this, he will have to file an official report. And if he files an official report, people are going to know he's alive.
Right.
And if people know he's alive, they're going to want to know how he survived the Icarus.
Yep.
And then they're going to want to know what happened to the rest of the people on the Icarus if this guy is alive. And then they're going to want to know why he went 2 years without telling anyone he was alive.
Right. And so this is Sheridan calling his bluff about,
yeah, Sheridan's like,
you
go
don't
off.
want Earth Alliance to know you're alive.
Right.
I know that. You know that I know that.
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
So,
how are you going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to update your legal status.
Right. You have to come back to life in order to get out of this.
Yeah. And
So-
I know you're not going to do
And
that.
I know you're not going to do that. And Morden goes,
So-
you're playing a very dangerous game, Captain. It could cost you your command. And Sheridan's like, 139 people died on board the Icarus, including my wife, and yet you're here, sitting there, not a scratch. Something doesn't seem to add up, and I intend to find out what happened, what really happened. And if necessary, you will sit there until I find out the truth, no matter how long that is. He gets pretty heated. He yells at him. Yeah. But he's like, I don't really give a shit. You're going to sit there until I figure it out. And then later when he's confronting Ivanova, and Ivanova's like, you could lose everything over this. He's like, it's nothing that I don't care if I don't care if I lose it.
Right. Anna is more important
Yeah.
than everything that I have.
For my whole life.
I already lost Anna. She might not be lost.
Right. For my whole life, two things mattered, my wife and my career. And when I lost my wife, I focused everything on my career. But all things considered, I'd rather have my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically saying, I would trade my entire career, my entire standing to have Anna back.
Right. This is a worthwhile sacrifice.
Yeah. And that's the my wife trope.
That's the my wife trope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll lose everything. I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, unless it's Dune Messiah,
So
which is different.
I think this also works because, like, from Morden's perspective, I think this works because Sheridan has a reputation, or at least the perception on paper, that this is who Sheridan is
Yeah.
all the time. And that's why the Earth government that wants to undermine Babylon 5 is okay with having Sheridan in charge of Babylon 5.
Okay, yeah,
Because this is the kind of thing that Sheridan does. But eventually, he's going to blow up like this, and they're just waiting for the right opportunity for Sheridan to undermine the reputation of Babylon 5's
Right.
ability to operate. And so Morden believes him.
luckily, it's only a temporary insanity.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Sheridan is not that person.
Right. Not at the heart of it.
Right.
He's definitely can be pushed to be that person, which is why he has that reputation at all.
Yeah.
But then we come back to Dr. Franklin and Ivanova, and this is
Breakfast.
more cyberpunk Dr. Franklin. If Garibaldi has a noir persona, an alternative noir persona, I feel like Dr. Franklin has a cyberpunk alternative persona.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who he is in this moment, because Ivanova's like, hey, how'd you sleep? And he's like, oh my God, so good. As soon as I put my head on the pillow. I mean, I had some bad dreams or whatever.
I think each of the main characters has their like comfortable mainstream sci-fi space show persona,
Yes.
but then they have their dystopian alter ego.
Noir Gary Baldy,
Yeah.
noir detective.
And
Dr.
cyberpunk.
Franklin, cyberpunk xenobiologist who's seen too much. Ivanova is secretly all Three Stooges. I don't know what. Because every time they have to give her comedy, it's like physical comedy. Or one of her lines is delivered so deadpan. She's the straight guy in the comedy duo.
And then Sheridan's the my wife Sheridan
Yeah.
is his dystopian alter ego.
Yeah.
I will tear the world down to potentially get my wife back.
The fact that Sheridan will go to any length to achieve what he believes is the correct outcome,
Mm-hmm.
whatever outcome he sees as the final outcome, no sacrifice is great enough.
Right.
Or too great. That's why at the end, when Kosh is like, if you go to Zahadum, you will die. He's like, then I die. Then I fucking die.
But I won't go down easy.
Yeah, but I mean, then that's what I do. If that's what is required to do what is right, then that is what I will do.
Yeah.
Which is the Superman. It's the Superman
Mm-hmm.
part of Babylon 5, which is one of JMS's greatest inspirations, is
Yeah.
the like, I will do what I have to do because it is the right thing to do. And if that means that I get harmed so that I save other people, then that is what I do.
Yep.
That's why he's like, I don't care if I lose my job. I need to know what happened. And ultimately, it does help because it gets him the information that he needs to start preparing.
Yep.
But this is when Ivanova's like, oh, dreams? What are your dreams? And he's like, sometimes before I fall asleep, I close my eyes and I see the face of every patient I've ever lost. That's not okay, bro.
I wrote down therapy.
I know by the end of this, Ivanova looks horrified. And I'm like, that is when you get somebody therapy. There's a part in World War Z where they're talking about like it's the last scene, the last part. And they're talking about, getting rid of the zombies once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
And they had not only soldiers, but they had watchers who would keep an eye on the soldiers for like psychological breakdown.
Yeah.
And so there was a guy who was giving himself a cut for every person that they couldn't save and then memorizing their names.
Yeah.
And so he just quietly disappears to go get therapy because it's clearly not healthy behavior. And that's what I was thinking about the whole time, where he's like, I just run over their faces, and over the last couple of days, we've lost a lot of Narns. This damn war with the Centauri. They're crammed into those refugee ships like sardines, sick and wounded. And by the time they get here, half of them are beyond hope, is what Ivanova says. And he goes, beyond help? Yes, not necessarily beyond hope. And then he's like, do you believe in God? And Susan's like, I mean, I was raised a Jew. I've got a samovar.
By the time they get here, half of them are beyond hope.
Beyond help, yes. Beyond hope. You believe in God, Susan?
I suppose. I mean, I was raised a Jew. I went to temple. I was bat mitzvahed.
I didn't ask how you spent your adolescence. I asked if you believe in God.
A teapot. Yeah, I was bat mitzvahed, which I did not know was a verb. I didn't know you could be bat mitzvahed, but there you go. Dr. Franklin's like, I didn't ask about how you grew up. I asked if you believe in God. And Ivana was like, I mean, most of the time. Do you? And he's like, okay, I'm a foundationist. I was like, oh no, here we go.
Thank you for responding.
This is the part I actually wanted to talk about. I didn't care about you. I wanted to tell you about this. And he's like, she goes, oh wow, I've never heard about that one. He's like, it's new. It's only been around about 100 years. One of the bunch that sprouted after we made contact with aliens. And I thought about this because I just read the appendices in Dune. And Frank Herbert has a whole section about what happened to religion after space travel. Because how can religion survive space travel?
Right.
Which, if you're like me, and I am spiritual in a very non-specific way, I don't think space travel would overly affect anything that I believe because,
right.
Okay, there's more to the universe. Okay, that was kind of what I already believed. Great, good to know. But like, my mom actually believes that heaven is out there somewhere. And that if we traveled far enough,
it's a physical location.
We would find it.
Yeah.
And so if you went out and it wasn't out there, then that is like, well, then what is out there? Where is heaven? Does heaven even exist? And so Frank Herbert had this whole scene, this whole appendices about how all of these religions had to get together. They had to get together and have a conference that was like, what do we do? What do we do now?
Yeah.
We've gone to space. We've learned a lot about the universe. A lot of the old beliefs no longer hold up. And he said the first conceit they had to get rid of was that there was only one answer.
Yep.
Which I thought was really interesting. And then that's where the Orange Catholic Bible comes from.
Okay.
Because they sat down, it took them 7 years to codify one single text
That encompassed,
all possible religious beliefs.
or at least the ones that participated.
Right. And I thought that that was interesting. The idea of what happens to religion when we finally have space travel.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me because I don't see how it would affect, again, because I don't have a specific enough belief that science can destroy it. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth.
Right.
Is my feeling. We had that movie Paul. Remember the movie Paul where they find the alien and they meet the really religious lady and he just shows her that the universe is really big and she loses all of her faith?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I get it because I know people that are like that. But intellectually, I have a hard time grasping that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is basically what he's saying is like, we went out into the universe and we realized that God is really too big to be contained by a single belief system. To be contained by words, sort of like Zeno's paradox, that there's an infinite number of dots between you and the object. And the closer you get to defining God, the further away you actually do get. Almost as if we fully understood the universe, it would have to end and start again. Like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yep.
There are some who believe this has already happened.
6 times.
And Ivana was like, okay, great. But what does that have to do with this? Dr. Franklin goes, you know, when a patient starts to slip away and he looks at you and his eyes grab hold of you the way a drowning man grabs hold of anything to keep from sinking? Afraid. So afraid. And then just at the last, it's as if they looked past you at something else. And the look on their face, it's like nothing you can describe. And then just as they look past you, the moment they look past you, you can't help but meet their gaze. And just for an instant, you see God reflected in their eyes. And I've seen a lot of reflected gods today, Susan, and I'm wondering how we can keep believing in them when they've stopped believing in us. And all I wrote is, and now this is when you get him to therapy. This is when you're like, okay, actually, I'm not going to reinstate you right now. I'm going to recommend some sort of like a psych evaluation. This is for your own
This was a
good.
screening breakfast.
Yes, you failed.
You failed.
But you failed in a friend way. Like this is a friend move.
I need to take care of you.
I want clearly you need a fucking break. Okay? You need a break. Where was your foundationism when you were killing a small child by doing surgery that he didn't ask for? I'm gonna leave that. I'm not done. I'm gonna bring it up every fucking chance I get. But this was okay. All right. I mean, you get a lot of like in Star Trek. I mean, there's a med lab, but there's a sense that and as long as somebody's alive when they arrive in the med bay, they're gonna be fine. Like we're gonna stick him in the little bed.
Yeah. Once you can get there, you're going to be fine.
We might have
Anything
a plot.
is possible.
We might have some sort of plot where you need something that you don't have and you need to get it or whatever. But for the most part, very rarely does anybody die. I mean, people die. It does happen.
They regrow a spine for Worf.
Yeah.
His entire spine.
Right.
They replace it.
Right. Exactly.
And that's Star Trek.
That's Star
Med Bay.
But that's Star Trek.
Yeah.
And one of the things about Babylon 5 is, yes, we're in space, but really medical technology wise, we are nowhere near where they are in Star Trek. And so there's a sense that like we have created all this additional danger and all this additional exposure to danger without really keeping up in terms of being able to medically deal with the new challenges. So you must have, these doctors are in this weird spot where all this shit is happening and they're inventing medicine on the fly.
Yeah.
Dr. Franklin is oftentimes inventing how to fix somebody as time goes on.
Yeah.
That has to be very psychologically taxing.
Right.
Because you're always left with, if I was just a little bit smarter or a little bit faster, I probably could have saved these people.
Yep.
Right? And he's an incredibly sensitive person. He's the type of guy that takes it all personally. And then you put him in this perfect storm of, here's a bunch of Narn refugees. If you don't save them, no one will. They will die alone.
On the docking bay
On
floor.
the docking bay floor. Anyway, have a great day. And then the only one clearly who's looking in on him is Ivanova.
Right.
Because it had been 36 hours since he'd taken a break.
Yep.
Of course he's going to crack under this kind of pressure. And I do appreciate that they tackle the idea of death at all, that they tackle the cost of war, that it's not just, oh, that ship exploded, everybody disintegrated. It's this thing that happened over there. It's like, this is taking over Babylon 5. There are so many refugees. It is so hard. The cost of war is so high. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really interesting that he tackled the idea of death and what happens when somebody dies.
And
the
such
fact that
a personal impact of that death.
Because I think anybody who's had to sit with somebody when they die, you would feel touched by his little speech. As much as we're joking about it being therapy. I mean, we sat with Dad when he passed away, and he was at home, and it was like 3 or 4 days of just my mom, my sister, and I with him. And it was a very sacred experience. So I can understand how that would feel impactful, especially if he's doing it multiple times every single day, and he's the type of person who feels affected by death. I mean, everybody feels affected by death, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Ivanova looks horrified, though.
Oh, yeah.
Her face is like, oh, no.
This is way worse than I thought.
You are not okay. But we don't have anybody to replace you right now. Oh, my God. I will be filing a report about this.
Back to Sheridan and
I
Morden.
know. And then you're like, whoop, whoop. Oh, anyway. And then Sheridan's like, what's the color of the transport? And Morden's like, I don't know, gray.
So, yeah, Sheridan's just grilling him on reiterating his details of his story to see if he can get contradictions
Right.
And then
This
telling them that he changed his answer, and Morden's like, nope, I got this shit memorized
Yeah, I don't know.
backward and
Yeah.
forward.
This feels like in Legally Blonde when she's like peppering the guy with questions. And then she's like, what's your boyfriend's name? And he goes, Frank.
Yep.
And that's how they realize that the pool boy is actually not involved. Anyway, that's what this feels like. It's an interrogation technique. He's just overwhelming him, hoping that he'll eventually say the real truth. He's like, how many days did it take to get there? 3? And he's like, it's a 5-day jump. Haha, got you. And then he's like, what's your transport's
he
name?
had just explained that he was unconscious most of that time.
I know. He gave himself a lot of outs, and Sheridan's not letting him keep the outs.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, man, everybody be needing therapy today. Everybody be needing therapy. He goes, because when I'm done with you, you're going to wish you had died on the Icarus. And then we go back to the TED Talk.
You mean the cult introduction?
Yeah. The thought police introduction, because you thought, oh, maybe Ministry of Peace. That kind of sounds great. This is horrifying. This is horrifying because he's like, you know, in the last 10 years, Earth has rebuilt their defenses, and we can protect our people from physical harm. But is that enough? We cannot hope to make peace with other civilizations until we have found peace with ourselves. And that's what we're all about. And he's like, now Babylon 5 has an early warning system to detect possible attacks, but we want our own system. We've created our own system, and we call it the Night Watch. And he pulls out an armband, which would be like, no, don't do it. He's like, we stand vigil in the darkness against possible enemies. And this is a completely volunteer organization, but we will pay you $50 per week, above and beyond your regular salary for services rendered. And Talia's like, what kind of services? He's like, oh, you just have to be there, wearing our colors, raising public awareness. You know,
available to support people.
Make people start thinking about peace and about the way they treat one another. Because, you know, we're watching. I can't believe Earth would pay us 50 credits a week just to walk around, says Zach.
Yeah. So he says, as the name implies, you must also be watchful.
Yeah.
Peace can be made or broken with a gun, a word, an idea,
Or even a thought. And then he looks at Talia, and Talia's like, what? Me? You want me to what?
We call it the Night Watch, named after those brave citizens who stood vigil in the darkness against possible enemies. It's a completely volunteer organization, officially endorsed by Earth Dome. Members receive 50 credits per week above and beyond their regular salaries for services rendered.
What kind of services?
Well, mainly just to be present wearing the colors of the Night Watch, raise public awareness, make them start thinking about peace, about the way they treat one another.
I can't believe Earth would pay us 50 extra credits a week just to walk around the station.
Correct. As the name implies, you must also be watchful. Peace can be made or broken with a gun, a word, an idea, even a thought.
Now those who work against peace sow the seeds of discontent.
thought crime.
Yeah, they spread fake news. They
We have to
undermine
help
the public
these people.
good. I mean, it's not because they're necessarily evil. They just don't know any better. We just need to bring them in. We need to re-educate them. We need to embrace them in the arms of society while at the same time protecting society from their misinformation and harmful ideas. We're less interested in actions than we are in attitudes. And that, oh my God.
We must help protect society against its own worst instincts.
You mean like turning people in for bad thoughts? Like turning people in for bad thoughts? We're going to ensure a better future for everybody. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and I hope you'll join me in becoming a part of the Night Watch. I don't really have any words for this. I think we all know how awful this is. The idea of you can't even disagree. Even disagreement is violence. Opposing opinions is violence.
Yeah.
Not believing the same things I believe is an act of violence. And it is a thing that should be reported so that the government can know and keep an eye on that shit. We'll pay you $50 a week. $2,000 check. This is,
Well, I was gonna say there's this lady I've been following. She goes by the Knitting Cult Lady.
yeah.
And I'm getting weep, weep, weep. Cult language.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is very culty. This is
Yeah.
very
In group.
Big Brother.
Like a big idealistic, like community identity stuff and exploitation of labor. Yeah, it's
This is where you can really see JMS is inspired by the dystopian type of sci-fi
yeah.
from the 50s and 60s,
Mm-hmm.
where you got like Adolphus Huxley, George Orwell, all those people who were writing about like possible futures, but futures where nothing worked out
Right.
and shit fell apart and authoritarian governments won. What would it be like if authoritarian governments had won?
Yep.
And you can see that influence when we start having more interaction with Earth Alliance, because Earth Alliance is playing out a lot of that.
The authoritarian playbook.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So like, well, how do you control the people? Well, you control their information, and then you also control what they think.
And then you incentivize them to self-report non-conforming
Right.
members
just
of
like
the society.
if you think somebody you know might be a telepath, for their own protection
and yours.
and yours, you need to, let people know so that they can be helped. You're just helping people.
Yeah, make a call to help
People
somebody.
want to help. That's usually the saddest thing about this type of cult, like wording. I can't think of the word right now because my brain is
Manipulation.
manipulation.
The language.
What's the one where you can manipulate people using language? The
Psycholinguistics.
Yeah, psycholinguistics. Like
Or
the
neurolinguistic programming.
the type of language that they choose
Yeah.
is usually what people want to do anyway. People want to help each other. People want to
Yeah.
be together. People want to support each other. People want peace. People want like a life that feels cooperative. People want to be together
Mhm.
and be at peace and cooperate with each other. Most people do.
Yeah.
And so if you can get the type of people that are like, I'm just trying to help you, they'll go to any lengths to help their friends.
Yep.
You just have to manipulate what they believe is help. And then we go back to Garibaldi and Sheridan. And it's Sheridan sitting there having a cup of coffee. And he's like, I think I'm getting to him. The more I pick his story apart, the more it just doesn't seem to add up. And all I need is to find one verifiable lie. And Garibaldi's like,
you
it's
had
him.
this guy for 10 hours and you still haven't charged him.
And he goes, yeah, I know. And he goes, no, I don't think you do. Look, I play things fast and loose, but inside this office, I play it by the book. And that ain't even close. He can't.
Right.
This is his last fucking shot. He can't blow this.
Right.
Sheridan is going to get a slap on the wrist. People are going to remember who his daddy is. And then he's just going to get assigned somewhere else.
Yep.
Which is why he's like,
But-
I'll do it. I'll assume responsibility. I
But
don't care.
Garibaldi,
Garibaldi's like, no, this is it. You don't understand. I can't fuck this shit up. And I can't have you fuck this shit up on my watch. Because he's like, it's fine. I'll assume responsibility. And Garibaldi's like, no. As head of responsibility, or as head of security, every prisoner is my responsibility. I'm the one accountable, and I'm the one who will get shit on. Even if you say it's your responsibility, they're going to look at my record, and that'll be it for me.
Yep.
He goes, well, you can't look at him and tell me that you think he's legit. And he's like, I don't. Of course he's dirty. Fucking look at it. I want to punch him right now, and I'm not even in the room with him. He's like, half of the people here are hiding something, and you can't arrest them for that. His station record is clean as a whistle. He's like, I know you're doing this because of your wife. I get that. But let him loose. Let him do something, and I'll charge him with it. I'm here with you. I'm trying to cooperate. Let's make this legal. He's like, I'm not letting him out, because if I let him out, he's just going to go. He's going to jump ship. He's going to get off somehow. He's going to get away. And I can't let that happen. He's like, okay, but you can't interrogate somebody for 10 hours without charges. And I said, doesn't Sheridan have a job? Doesn't he do other things? Did he clear his schedule for this?
well, he has been practicing delegating stuff to Ivanova.
Yeah. So that's what he did. He was just like, I'm going to be busy for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Yeah. And Garibaldi continues. He's like, I mean, the regulations say, and Sheridan interrupts him. He's like, Mr. Garibaldi, interpreting regulations for an officer, that can be considered insubordination. And Garibaldi's like, oh, okay. All right. So what now? You charge me with insubordination? You want to put me in the cell next to him? Is that how you want this to work out? You pulled the trigger on this one. You better be prepared to back it up. And he's like, I just need more time. Can't you just look away for a little bit longer? If he knows what happened to Anna, if he's somehow responsible for, he's like, you know what?
Garibaldi says, hell no.
Yeah. He's like, nope.
I'm out.
I can't be here as chief of security while something like this is going on. So either it stops or I resign effective immediately.
Yep.
This is when Garibaldi is at his best. When he's like, I get it. I understand. I see you. I empathize with you. But like, I'm bound by the law, by the responsibilities of my role. And I take them very fucking seriously. And yeah, sometimes I put on a little fedora and I walk around as Garibaldi, but I'm not going to do something that's blatantly illegal like this. I won't. I refuse to. I will leave. And Sheridan's like, okay, then I guess I'll see you later. And he takes all of his shit off and puts it down. He's like, I'm gone. I resign effective immediately. And this is when he calls Zach in and he's like, Zach, you've just been promoted. Mr. Garibaldi has taken a brief leave of absence. And he's like, really? Right now on short notice? And he's like, yep, right now. Yep, you're in charge of this guy, this particular prisoner right here. No one is to see him or talk to him. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes, Veer Koto is asking to see you, Captain. And this is when this part feels like camp almost, because all of a sudden people are popping out of the woodwork and being like, I want to talk to you about Morden.
Yep.
And even Sheridan is like, oh my God, seriously, another person? Because he's like, Veer Koto's asking to see
which
you.
is only increasing his need
to figure out
get
what's
to the bottom of this.
Yeah. He's like, well, it'll have to wait. And Zach goes, I mean, he said it was urgent. And he's like, fucking fine. I'll see him in my office in 10 minutes. This
Get
shouldn't
Talia.
take long. Yeah, find Talia Winters, bring him here. And then we go to the office and Sheridan's like, hey, I'm real short on time. So if you could just like rattle it off. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm here about Mr. Morden. And Sheridan's like, you knew him? And Veer goes, oh, I mean, Ambassador Malari has had some dealings with him, I guess. Like they've talked at least twice. I have orders to ask for his immediate release. This is probably the most damaging thing anyone could have done because he's like,
we're extending diplomatic immunity to
we're
him.
giving him immunity.
Let him out.
Yeah. And Sheridan's like, oh, really? You're going to give him immunity? That's crazy. Station records show. And he never misses an appointment.
Yep.
And we know he didn't leave, so clearly you must have him. And Sheridan's like, yeah, I mean, we do.
But he says diplomatic immunity only applies when the subject is charged with a crime. And so far, Mr. Morden has not been charged.
Yeah, I know.
We're holding him in protective custody. Protecting him from what? I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
From me.
Yeah. Good day, Mr. Koto.
And then Ivanova comes in.
I know. Well, the best part about this is Veer. This is the most chatting Veer gets to do with somebody other than Londo.
Yeah.
And he is such a hand actor, and I love this for him. He's like flapping them hands everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it when an actor is like all up in the, and he does this like, I don't know if he's stooped naturally or if he does that for Veer. And then he's like waving his hands. It gives you the impression that Veer is this really interesting mix of both anxiety and also forwardness, where he is aware that this is a person who holds some sort of power over his position, but it's not going to stop him from doing what he needs to do.
Right.
Yeah, and then we get into Ivanova and Sheridan walk and talk. Because Ivanova's like, I need to talk to you about Morden. He goes, get in line. And Ivanova says, I just spoke to Garibaldi. And Sheridan's like, okay, all right. I mean, I'm sure he briefed you or whatever. And this is Ivanova's chance to try to talk some sense into him. She's like, as an executive officer, I have to notify you if you're becoming, and he goes, irrational. And she's like, I mean, that's a good word for it. Sure. He goes, thank you for your notification. Now, if you don't mind. And then this is when he's like, do you understand why I am doing this? My wife and my career. My wife and my career. That was my whole entire
Right.
fucking
The two
life.
most important things, my wife and my career. And I lost the most important thing.
I lost my wife and I've been focusing on my career. But if I have to lose my career to get my wife back, that's
Easy trade.
easy trade. I'll do it all day long. He goes, suddenly this has all been turned upside down. Maybe she was killed by that guy. Maybe she's being held prisoner by that guy. Maybe she's been a prisoner this entire time and I can get her back. So if you were in my position, would you let him go? If you had that doubt in your mind, could you? And she's like, no, I couldn't.
Captain, look, you're forcing me into a position where I'm going to have to report this, and I don't want to have to do that. Don't you understand?
I do understand, Commander. I know how I look, I know how I sound, but I have to do this. For 10 years, the only things that mattered to me were my wife and my career. When she died, she took the best part of me with her. I survived by telling myself that it was an accident, like everybody said, and focusing on the one other thing that I had left, my job. And now, suddenly, that's all turned upside down. Maybe she was killed by that man sitting in isolation right now. If you were in my position, would you let him go? If you had that doubt in your mind, could you?
No, I couldn't.
Nope. I mean, he'd have confessed 5 hours ago if Ivanova had been let at him.
Right.
And
And
Sheridan's
I was
like, yeah,
thinking
neither can I.
this is hooking Sheridan not just because it's his wife, but
Yeah.
also because it's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I know. There's a lot happening. This is
Right.
pushing a lot of good buttons.
That's his special interest.
Yeah. This is pushing a lot of Sheridan buttons right now. He's like, I mean, the possibility is that if he is alive, then she's alive, and I have to know. Because without that, nothing else means one damn. And then we go to Talia, and Talia's like, no. Hard no. I
Hard
cannot.
pass.
And he goes, Psychor
Unless
rules.
he agrees.
Yeah, he goes, Psychor rules prohibit unauthorized scans of civil or in civil or criminal investigations. And he's like, I mean, how can it be unauthorized? According to Earth Central, this guy's dead. Can a dead man object? And she goes, you are using the letter of the law to defeat the spirit of the law. And he just goes, you got me. She goes, if you can get him to agree to a scan without duress. And then he's like, he won't. She goes, then there's nothing I can do. All right, if you'll please wait outside for a minute. And then he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get them to walk past each other. They're just going to walk past each other. No big deal.
Yeah,
It's
because
fine.
I have a hunch, even just passive Talia.
It's going to
is-
get some shit
is-
from this guy.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they do. They walk him past him. And Talia sees his face all covered in shadows. And then she sees the shadows. And she's like, ah! She passes out. And Zach has to grab her. And then they come back in med lab. And Dr. Franklin's like, are you all right? Are you really sure you're all right? And she's like, I think so. But it was like terrible, like falling into a bottomless well, just so cold. And for a second, I thought I saw this shape. Talking to Dr. Franklin, who's probably been up for another 36 hours. I don't know. I think I saw God. He's like, me too. Oh my God. He's like, okay, well, you should probably make a full report. And then
That's
she
what
turns
she-
and looks at Zach and she
Yeah.
goes, I think I just did. I do love that because she's like, they got me.
Yep.
They got me. Because then Sheridan walks in. He's like, Miss Winters, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I didn't think. And then she slaps the shit out of him.
Hard.
And then just leaves. She's not like, I'm going to say my piece. She's like, I'm done. That was my piece. I'm out.
Yeah.
And Sheridan just goes, well, I guess I had that coming. And Dr. Franklin goes, yeah, you did. Hope it was worth it. And he's like, it was, because her reaction tells me that there's more to this guy than I thought. And that's a start. Dr. Franklin's like, I mean, yeah, but can I give you a piece of advice? And Sheridan's like, go off. Everyone else is giving me advice.
More cyberpunk Franklin.
Why not? Let's have Dr. Franklin tell me all about it. Go ahead, bro. Let's see. What do you have to say? And he goes, I've seen what a loved one's death can do to people. I mean, I see it here every day. And I wrote, people die there every day. People die. Isn't that an unusually high number of people? There's not that many people.
It's a saying.
It's metaphorical. Okay.
Yeah.
He goes, it can destroy you by making you forget that you're not alone. Every living thing dies alone. Dr. Franklin keeps going. He's like, look, you and I, our job descriptions, they're different. But inside, we both carry this silly notion that we can fix everything. And we can't. And you have to face that. And then you don't have to face it alone. And this brought me back again to Dune, because I was just listening to this interview with Frank Herbert where he's talking to this guy, and it's contemporary. It's like 1969 radio interview that he's doing with this literature professor from Cal State.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about one of the things that he loves to include as like a main theme in his novels is the conceit of every Western man that with a sufficient amount of information and effort, he can solve any problem.
Yeah.
That the only thing standing between you and a solution is the time it takes to fix it. And everything can be solved.
Yep.
And that reminded me directly of that quote where he's like, you think you can fix it, and sometimes you fucking can't. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you got to let it go. But the tension in literature between the belief that a thing can be solved and the realization that some things can never be is where a lot of magic happens.
Yep.
So I get it, but also I loved that. I wonder if JMS listened to that interview. He definitely could have.
Yeah.
He definitely could have. I mean, and I'm sure Frank Herbert repeated that other places as well. Plus, I mean, it's a good theme. It's a good theme. Because as soon as he walks out of medbay,
Delenn and Kosh
pop out of the bushes. They literally are like,
we need to talk to you about Morden.
I know.
It's like, oh my fucking God. Who is this guy?
He's like, you guys are not convincing me to let this man go. You are not convincing me. Because he's like, you two, the both of you. And I'm going to tell you something. We have entered a new era for Delenn, and I can tell. Do you know how I can tell?
How?
This bitch got breakup bangs.
I noticed the bangs, and I thought, is that Mira Furlan's bangs?
Oh, no.
Or are those Delenn's bangs?
She was like, it's time to fight. And she cut her own bangs. That every woman knows. The minute you're like, bangs, it's on. It is on. This is, I can tell you this is a turning point in her character because they gave her fucking bangs. Because she's been doing this thing where her hair is like swept to the side and it's kind of up over top of her crest. And then she was like, fuck it. Fuck all that noise. Bangs. I love this because Kosh literally has 2 lines in this entire thing. It's just him standing behind Delenn, lending credence. I think he's there because he can see the shadows. He can see the shadows.
Yes.
So he would know if they were listening.
Yep.
Because Delenn and Kosh roll up and Delenn's like, you have got to let this guy go. You just have to trust us. You have got to let him go. If you don't release him quickly, everyone here is in danger. And he's like, no, not until I get some answers. And she's like, okay, I have answers. Do you want answers? I can give you some. I can give you big ones, huge secrets.
About Mr. Morden.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Things we've known for 3 years, but once you know them, you'll never sleep again because the greatest nightmare of our time is waiting for you. And he's like, okay. Say less. Say less. I'm with you.
I'm
my
in.
God. He's like, okay, all right. You had me at big secrets, huge. And then they go to, I think it's Delenn's quarters. And she's like, okay, so there are beings in the universe that are like billions of years older than either of our races. We're not even a million years old. So
there were a bunch of them.
Cool. And he's like, okay. And she goes, once long ago, they walked among the stars like giants. And this harkens back to, if you will recall, the very first fucking episode where Jakar is talking to Catherine Sakai. And he's looking at the ant on the flower. And he's like, you can't go to Epsilon, whatever, because Sigma 957. God, I can't believe I remembered that. My brain was like, it's not Epsilon, it's Sigma. And I was like, oh, Sigma 957. And he's like, giants walk there. You can't go there.
Yeah.
And to them, you are like the ant on this plant. You aren't even worthy of notice.
Yep.
So it's not even malevolence. It's literally indifference. She goes, they walked among the stars like giants, vast and timeless. They taught the younger races, explored beyond the rim, created great empires. But to all things there is an end. And after a while, they just sort of went away. They left. They literally
Beyond
go beyond
the
the rim.
stars.
Some simply disappeared. And Sheridan's like, Dylan, I mean, I'm sure this is interesting and all, but like, can we circle back to Morden? This is how you know he's in it, because he's not like, ooh, he doesn't have his popcorn out. Like, okay, tell me more. He's like, okay, but wait, Morden? And she goes, not all of the first ones have gone away. A few stayed behind, hidden or asleep, waiting for the day when they might be needed, when the shadows come again. And he's like, shadows? And she's like, they don't have another name. They're just the shadows. They were old when even the ancients were young, and they battled one another over millions of years. And then like 10,000 years ago was the last time that the ancients walked openly among us, and they were defeated but not destroyed. And then 1,000 years ago, they came for us, and we were able to send them back. But now they're back again. It's cyclical.
Yeah, so 1,000 years ago was the last big battle, and the Minbari participated in it.
Yes, and
but then
yes,
the rest of the first ones left.
There's more there, but
except for one.
Right, all but one. And he's like, "What? There's still one of them left?
Where?
Where?" And Kosh goes, does the wave, the like, hey, what's up? And Delenn goes, yeah, that's why Kosh cannot leave his encounter suit. He would be recognized. Sheridan's like, recognized?
By who? Everyone.
Yeah, Kosh's first word in this entire interaction, he goes, everyone. Duh. What does he look like? I mean, I know what he looks like, but what would Sheridan assume he looked like? What would everyone recognize? Elvis? What does he look like?
David Bowie.
David, yeah. You're like, oh my God. It was David Bowie all along. That thing on his head is actually the codpiece.
I saw a meme about somebody digs up David Bowie and he gets out of his casket like full like Ziggy Stardust outfit and just starts setting right everything that's wrong in the world.
I mean,
yeah.
For centuries, the Vorlon stood alone, the last remaining guardians, watching and waiting. And then last year, I sent Kosh a message, and we get a flashback to when she was like, "Did you relay my question?"
From season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you relay my question exactly? And Linear's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay, what did he say?" And he's like, "Yes." And then we finally know what the question was. And it was, have the shadows returned to Zahadum?
Was that the moment in season 1 where she decided, now I have to change?
I think so, but she's been building the thing.
Right, she'd been building it, but then she was like, okay, now it's going to happen. And she says, Sinclair, come see me ASAP. And he arrives too late.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the question. It's
that was
right
the
before
question.
she goes into the cocoon.
Yeah. Yep. And Sheridan's like, wait, Zahadum? That's the world that Jakar's been warning us all about this year. Like, oh, he wasn't full of shit. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, he's going to be so mad at me.
and then Kosh is like, Sheridan, learn.
He's
and
like, I
shoots
could
a mind beam at
I
him.
could explain, sometimes when I'm trying to explain something to somebody, it feels really cumbersome because speaking is such a slow way to convey information.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the way I think, we talked about this on other podcasts, but don't have a mental voice. I don't have words in my head. So I'm seeing the complete idea all as one thing. And now I have to break it down for you into a series of sentences. And it can feel very cumbersome. So I have to imagine Kosh was like, well, actually, I don't want to talk about this. So just watch
the movie.
Click, click, shines his flashlight in his face. It's like, I'm going to try that next time. Learn. And he's like, oh, okay. And then it's just his wife's ship sent to investigate the ruins of an ancient race that no one's heard before. And Kosh goes, Zahadum. And it's just them waking up the shadow who was hanging out. I guess he was just hanging out on a ledge thinking.
He's in a cave.
He was thinking deep
He's
thoughts.
in his house. He's literally in his bedroom and they come barging in.
I know. He was just like, I don't know. Why are we even here? We could go past the rim. I could see my friends again. Everybody's been sleeping for like 1,000 years. I'm kind of bored. And then these humans show up and he's like, hey, yes, I think I shall start an intergalactic war. And that's
like, these unassuming little creatures.
You know when you get woke up too early and you're like, I want to burn the whole universe? That's what it is. Their alarm hadn't gone off. Their kids snuck into the bedroom and we're like, hey, can we lay down in bed with you for a minute?
This reminds me of Stargate.
Uh-huh.
Where, what's the creature in Stargate that enslaves the humans?
The Yerks.
But no. In the original Stargate movie, the creature,
the guy, I can't remember his name,
like Ra.
Yeah.
The one pretending to be, who calls themselves Ra.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, humans, these are so primitive and simple. I can just dominate this human body and use it. This will be such a useful tool because I can just control them and they can be my minions so easily because they're so primitive or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably what the shadows thought. It's like, oh, we were trying to figure out, like, how are we going to spread our influence across the galaxy without raising suspicions of, like, the Vorlons and the Minbari and other races who actually, like, know about us and know to look out for us. The humans. They're so unassuming. Everybody underestimates the humans. And we can dominate them so easily. And they're like, perfect opportunity. We'll just make this ship disappear. And anybody who agrees to be, like, possessed by the shadows.
Yeah. Well, they go on to say, like, the shadows could not allow them to leave in case they might warn others.
Right.
I mean, you could have just pretended they were like Jehovah's Witnesses and turned the light off and hidden behind the door. They could have just not come out and then no one would have known.
There were like spires sticking out of the rock with glowing red letters on them.
Oh.
So as archaeologists, they're going to be like, holy shit, this place is amazing. We need to get thousands of archaeologists down here.
As an archaeologist, I can confidently state that is interesting. I think there's something going on here. How can you tell? Well, that pillar's all lit up and it's got writing on it and shit. Oh, I'm so glad we brought these archaeologists because there'd be no other way to know. I just love your statement. As an archaeologist, you would know.
Right? That would just be so undeniably attractive.
Yeah.
As a research.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. You'd have just decades of people coming out to. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
So it wasn't just that the shadows themselves as living creatures, like having a society on this planet, needed to stay hidden. They didn't even hide their ruins on the surface.
No.
So.
They were like, no one can come out this far. It's fine.
Yeah. Nobody's going to look here.
Nobody's going to look over here.
Oops.
Oh, damn it.
So, yeah, they couldn't let anybody leave.
Right, yeah. But those who would not serve were killed. And he's like, but were they all killed? Were they all killed? And Delen's like, dude.
The ones who would not cooperate.
Right. If she cooperated, she's still alive. But is that better?
Is she even still her?
Because he's like, maybe some were kept alive as prisoners. And Delen's just like, dude, that's not a thing.
No.
You know.
Would you, if you captured some mice in a trap, like a non-lethal mouse trap?
Yeah, would you keep some alive as prisoners?
What are you going to do with them?
I know.
You're just going to keep them?
Would they even have a concept of, like, the type of intelligence they're working with? Or would it be so different from their own?
Oh, I think they're fully aware. But
like how I always wish I could put little ant heads on a spike and stick them by the window as a warning
To
to the
dissuade the
others.
ants?
But it won't work because they don't care,
Right.
right? I don't know.
It's a whole different, like in Ender's Game.
Yeah.
The
They didn't think
what do they
about,
call them?
the buggers?
Not the buggers. They had another name for them. I was trying to use the non-derogatory.
Oh, I don't remember their other name.
But they found the humans, and they're like, these human things aren't intelligent. We've
Yeah.
tried talking to them,
And they're not responding.
and they're not
so
responding. So they're obviously not intelligent.
We'll just kill them all. We will
But
straight up
I
murder
expect
them.
that the shadows are aware. They've
they know.
been doing this game for billions of years.
Yeah.
Co-opting less advanced species, less advanced civilizations.
I'm just saying, like, leaving out your archaeology. It's possible because we haven't heard from other races that have archaeologists that only Earth people are like, ooh, check out that shit over there.
Yeah.
Let's endanger our lives to go dig up some ruins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they maybe were not expecting people to just come to Zahadum and dig up their midden heaps and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, they're like, anyway, you can see why Morden must be released. And he's like, no, I'm not seeing it. Nope. I mean, after you showed me all of that, how can I let him go? And Delen's like, you have to let him go because right now they don't know that we know. And the last times the Shadows lost, it's because they moved too quickly. So they're going real slow this time. But if you push Morden, sooner or later, he's going to tell you what's happened. And then he's going to be killed and you're going to get killed. And the Shadows are just going to move. And they're going to move before we're ready for them. And he's like, how are they going to know?
How will they know?
How will they know? And he's like, because Morden's never alone. He's never alone. Listen to me. Aside from the Vorlons, we do not have the first ones to help us this time. We are on our own. We will have only one chance to stop them. And if we fail, billions will die. And then Delen gets a really good line, a series of lines where she's like, there comes a moment when each of us must pledge himself to something far greater. You told Jakar he had to decide between revenge and the good of his own people. And now it's your turn to make that decision too. And it will be the most important decision of your life. And then he walks in. Well, actually, we cut back to him sitting and staring at Morden because after all of that,
he's still
like,
sure.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. Because Zach walks in and he's like, it's late. Do you want some sleep? And he's like, no. Have you ever studied ancient history? And this is where he goes through the whole thing about Coventry and how this did happen. They did know of things that were going to happen, and they had to just let them happen to keep them from knowing that the Enigma code had been broken. This specific event, not true. But as a general rule, that did happen.
Yeah.
And so he's just saying, like, if you knew and you could stop it, but you knew that by stopping it, you would be tipping your hand and you would potentially be causing even more problems. Would you just let it happen? And Zach is like...
Zach gets a good line. How many lives is a secret worth?
Yeah.
Ooh, good line.
I know. And then he hears like... from behind.
Especially a secret that can save more lives down the line.
Right. Exactly. Always the balance. What is better? What is better? I mean, is it better to do the truth thing right now and by exposing the truth eventually causing greater harm? Or do you sacrifice your prince? I mean, that's the whole question of the Watchmen, right?
Yeah.
Humanity needs a villain. They need somebody to rally around.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, who actually gets destroyed? It's the character that refuses to do what is wrong, even when that might be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's always a good question. It's an important thing to think about in any situation because there is no one answer. And thinking about it is important. And then he hears like a noise. A noise.
From the cell.
A reep. Something. Reep. A noise from, oh my God. Solid Snake. What's that game?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. One of the shadows comes out from underneath the box and a guard spots him. And a little red exclamation mark appears above his head. Reep. He goes, what was that sound? He's like, we're just picking it up. it's got a new microphone, but I guess it's malfunctioning. And he's like, oh, never alone. Can you adjust the monitor? And he's like, yeah, from over here where I can't see the monitor. Why would the monitor controls be on another panel where you can't see the monitor being manipulated?
So that Sheridan, there's a plot device in between.
Oh, okay.
So that Sheridan sees the shadow.
device?
Yeah.
Clearly, that's why it's over there, because it doesn't make any fucking sense to have the monitor controls across the room from the monitors, but whatever. And he's like, different wavelengths, infrared, ultraviolet. And he's like, sure. So he starts changing it, but it doesn't change the picture. It doesn't go to ultraviolet. It doesn't go to...
Right. It doesn't go to like a false color mapping.
No. It literally just goes boop, boop, and then the shadows appear, and he's like, ah!
What did you see? Just shadows.
Nothing. Just shadows. And then they're like, cut him loose. But in the meantime, Morden has walked up to the camera and he's like,
I kind of expected the shadows to turn towards the camera when the cameras were configured in such a way that they could see the shadows.
Yeah. And he goes, tell him it was all a mistake and he can go. And Zach's like, what? Right now? And he's like, yep, right now. And then he walks up to Garibaldi. Sheridan has to go make amends to Garibaldi, who is always eating in his downtime. If Garibaldi has downtime, he's eating.
Yep.
So he's eating somewhere. And he's like, I cut him loose. You were right. I was wrong. Please come back to work. He says all the important stuff really up front.
Yep.
And Garibaldi's like, okay, but like what happened to change your mind? And he's like, you know what? I don't really want to talk about it. And Garibaldi's like,
what about next time?
I really don't like the sound of that. But next time you'll listen to me. And he's like, oh,
there won't be a next time.
And he's like, I only have one wife, so I think this can't happen again. It's fine. And he's like, thanks. Hey, Captain, you okay? This is when Sheridan leaves. And Zach
Sheridan
pops
leaves
up.
and Zach shows up.
And he's like, I don't know. What's that? And he points at his arm because he's wearing the Night Watch band.
Oh,
and Zach's like, I mean, to be fair, I'd probably do this. Because A, you're now getting paid 50 credits a week.
Right.
And if you just don't report anybody, what are they going to say?
Right. It's like, if you volunteer to join
it's a who watches the Watchmen situation.
Yeah. You join the monitoring organization with the intention of, like Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
He becomes the head of Parks and Rec specifically to undermine its effectiveness.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that handbook? We talked about it before, the one that's like how to undermine the government or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a CIA published book that's like how to non-violently undermine
you get into the bureaucracy and just
you dig in and you like pointless meetings, endless emails,
lots of paperwork.
Yeah, policies that don't, like circular policies that don't make sense. And you're getting paid 50 credits.
So let's say Zach's doing it for that reason. Other than the 50 credits.
He did not see it as like a thought policing situation. I think he saw it as like, oh, you mean what I'm already doing?
Right.
Just keeping
I'm
an eye on
already
people?
here to just be visible as someone who can help, who's approachable.
Kind of like when you're doing customer service training and they talk about like you don't necessarily stop people from stealing. What you do is just offer them customer service.
Yep.
You just walk up and ask them if they need any help because sometimes just being visible is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only deterrent that you really should work with. He may be seeing it more like that is like, I'm already here. I'm already walking around. I might as well just get paid extra.
Yep.
Then we go to Sheridan, who's talking to Kosh. And he's like, I let him go, but there's a price. And I'm done listening to Gregorian chants in the basement. We're done with that.
We're going to level this shit up.
Because clearly I could have understood you with a flashlight beam a long time ago and you chose not to. So I want you to teach me how to fight them, how to beat them, because sooner or later I'm going to Zahadum and I'm going to stop them. And he's like, if you go to Zahadum, you will die. And he goes,
if I die, I die.
Then I die. But I will not go down easily and I will not go down alone. You will teach me. And Kosh goes, yeah, sure.
Bruh.
Put another Put another thread there. If you go to Zahadum, you will die. And that's the end of that episode. And a lot happens, but also a lot doesn't happen. The biggest lore dump is the shadows.
Yep.
Night Watch, shit's happening back on Earth. The Narn Centauri War is heating up. And finally, we know why Delenn is doing what she did. And
because of the shadows.
Being unable to discuss any of her motivations has also been a problem for her.
Right.
Because she knows why she did it, but she can't fucking tell anybody.
Right.
Because she can't be like, oh, I did this because our ancient enemy that we only defeated by the skin of our teeth 1,000 years ago is back.
Right.
She couldn't even back up Jakar. She had to watch Jakar get humiliated over and over and over again.
She couldn't even go to him in private and say, you're right about Zahadum.
Right.
Because then he'd use that against, well,
you don't know.
He'd use it to try to pressure other people into helping, and Delenn wouldn't. She'd have to say, oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, and nothing says she didn't know that the shadows were the one who destroyed the Narn outposts.
Right.
Which means she had to let them be destroyed, knowing what she knew.
Yep.
So this has been a heavy burden for her for a long time. And this is a final lightening of the load where it's like, I can finally tell at least one person what's happening.
Right. And now Sheridan already has his secret team.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes fighting a movement.
Right.
But now they get recruited into
another
the
secret
fight.
Team. Yeah. An extra big, biggest secret team. Oh, by the way, we have to also save the universe. Hope you don't mind. But he can't tell anybody. It's just him for now.
It's just him for now.
So he's in the same position Delenn is in, where now he knows and he can do nothing because he has to trust that preparations are being made, but in secret.
Yep.
Which is pretty wild. So this was it. This was a good... Now we can openly talk about who's on Zahadum, although we kind of have already, and the shadows, and kind of how this is going to be it. This is going to be a major motivating force for the plot for a long time.
Yep.
And it's going to be used very liberally to explain a lot of other things that are happening, and it's going to be, the payoff is so worth it. Like the catharsis at the end of all this is why I still love Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Because I don't love a show that goes nowhere. That's why I hate shows that get canceled. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I like Forever Night. One could argue there's literally no through line in anything in Forever Night, but you're not going there with that expectation. But like the Wheel of Time television show, I knew we weren't going to. That's why I haven't watched Foundation. That's why I haven't watched a lot of the still airing television shows. Because I have to know that there's going to be catharsis for everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to watch it. 'Cause I'm not going to be stuck with another unfinished story in my head.
Yep.
Anyway, or how did Frank describe it? He liked it at the end of his story. He said it ejected you forcibly from the story with bits of the tale still following behind you because so little was explained at the end and it was all moving so fast that it all stays with you. And I kind of feel like that's how this episode ends, where we've been slowly building momentum over the last 16-ish episodes. And now you just get ejected into the story.
Right. And now you just have more questions.
Right. And at this point, you could go back and rewatch a lot of previous episodes and get a lot more context for the things that are happening.
Yeah.
Especially Morden and the things we know about Morden. Because now we know Morden's a cooperator. I mean, we knew he was evil.
He's not just a puppet.
Right.
He's a collaborator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. I knew this one was going to be kind of short because there wasn't a whole lot.
Short?
Over
is 2 hours?
Our version of a mini episode. You know what's funny is I look back at some of our first, because I want to redo the first season of Forever Night because it was one of the first things we did podcasting.
Yep.
And you can tell. And a lot of our episodes are like 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we talked about an episode for 45 minutes. I don't know. I can't even 45 minutes is how long it takes us to get to talking about the episode anymore. What did we do? We just sat down and we were like, I don't know, it was good. There were people in it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Pretty much.
I saw a meme that was a picture of Lestat, which I'm very excited for, by the way. The new Lestat. And it was like, let's be done with the like put together elegant vampires. I'm ready for horny mess vampires. I'm ready for like hot trash vampires. And I was like, oh, we already did that. We did that Forever Night. Horny mess vampires. But also, yes, I support this so much. I don't know. That's another thing I was thinking about this morning, along with I need to take some Dayquil. And I think this is probably a good place to leave it. So we live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time. Oh, wait, no. Oh, my God. We got another patron.
Hi.
So, hi. Thank you for joining. We're doing it. We're recording a movie episode tomorrow. So there will be Patreon content very soon. So until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.